The Forge Bowl event ended a few days ago for me, but it has haunted me ever since. Why? Well, I have a city where I am trying to play Forge of Empires without deleting a single building. In case you are new, here's a quick recap of the rules that I'm following for this challenge. First, I cannot delete any buildings unless they are required by an unabortable quest. Second, I am allowed to move buildings or change my city layout. And third, I can't place down any great buildings above my age or trade down goods from higher ages. Now let's jump into it. Last time, I just made it into the Iron Age before the Forge Bowl event started, and I have to say, I was feeling pretty confident. After all, I have a lot of free space, the quests aren't that hard, and I need to place Iron Age buildings at some point, right? Well, no. I started the event strong, the first quest being super easy, and then ran straight into a wall. The second quest requires you to build 7, count them, 7 decorations, and in my opinion, that's just too much. I really don't want to end up in a higher age and just have 7 Iron Age decorations floating around. I'm not a fan of even the 5 Bronze Age ones that are in my city already, so this put me in a bit of a pickle. I had been planning to get some event buildings to boost my city's productions more than a normal goods building could. So what did I do? I decided to just pause progression in the story and campaign map and just focus on collecting coins and supplies, getting my daily footballs, and some from incidents too, and build up a small amount of footballs to spend on the very last day of the event. And so, on the last day of the Forge Bowl event, I now have the grand total of 3,040 footballs. Not exactly the amount I was hoping for. I had been hoping to use these on epic Forge Bowl selection kits, but unfortunately I didn't have the time to spend them in the last few hours of the event when the special switched over to them. Instead, I had to settle for either Sentinel Outposts, which I won't be building, or hopefully switch the daily special to something useful, and it is Classical Garden selection kits. Definitely not what I wanted. And so, with a heavy heart and a ton of footballs, no, literally, 3,000 footballs would weigh about 1.5 tons, I finished the Forge Bowl event. Since I didn't have enough footballs to get many pergola kits, I focused on the cheapest footballs per daily special chance players. Even if I did get pergola kits, the building is absolutely trash at lower levels. It provides only supplies and metals until level 6, and no goods or forge points until level 10, so basically no use to me. After spending all of my footballs, I ended up with a grand total of 7 daily specials that I won't ever place, and will probably go straight to the antiques dealer once I unlock it. However, considering how young this city is, any of the normal prizes that I got were really useful, especially any goods or units. In fact, earlier this month I won an Iron Age Villa, which is the premium residential building from the daily challenge, but I've been waiting to place anything until the end of the event. So, was the Forge Bowl event worth it for my city? I'd have to say yes. I didn't get into any of the quest line, but the rewards I won were extremely helpful. And now that the event is over, I can finally get back to my normal city business. You see, I aged up way too early to the Iron Age. I did not have nearly the amount of Bronze Age goods needed, and without any goods buildings, my only goods income comes from completing quests and incidents, which is something I'll be working on improving. Anyways, the lack of goods really slowed down my research. I've been focusing entirely on unlocking cottages as they are the best non-premium Iron Age residential, and now that I have them unlocked, I'm placing only the ones needed to support a single Bronze Age goods building, the lumber mill, and a single Iron Age goods building, the jewelry manufacturer, as those are the smallest ones that I have the boosts for. And until today, I did not know that this actually is called the jewelry manufacturer, but it's rather fun to say jewelry manufacturer. Regardless of manufacturers, you might notice that I don't have any Iron Age barracks down, and the reason for that is that I'm not going to place any. You see, while I could place down a couple of archer barracks, since they have the smallest footprint of any Iron Age troop, for the most part, I think I can still use my Bronze Age troops to fight, as well as the legions of troops that I won during the Forge Bowl event. I think what I'm going to try to do going forward is place barracks only every other age, as I should be able to fight everything I have to with troops 1 age lower as long as I'm careful. Of course, this would make the guild expeditions or guild battlegrounds tricky, but I'm not planning to do either of those at this point in time, so it doesn't really matter. At this point, you might have noticed something kind of weird. I haven't placed any expansions yet. And no, this isn't my tiny town. The reason is that I didn't want to. Now, you might be thinking, why not? In short, while I will need the expansions at the rate at which I'm placing these buildings down, I wanted a reminder that I am limited on space and I want to use the least amount of expansions possible. I'd rather save them for future ages, and while I could just place them down and use them as needed, somehow it just feels right to me to leave them until I need them. Despite when this video is probably coming out, this was all recorded just before the start of the St. Patrick's Day event, and it got pushed back due to the event videos taking priority. Regardless, by the time you are watching this video, I've dived much deeper into the Iron Age with many more adventures. I think we'll have to save those for next time. If you enjoyed this episode, please check out the first one, or the entire playlist of my no-selling playthrough linked on screen now. Please let me know your thoughts, and as always, I'll see you next time.